Weather impact alert for the rest of our Wednesday evening because it has been a scorching hot day. Temperatures are still holding on in the mid to upper 90s for most of the area. We're seeing a bit more cloud cover roll in as some tropical moisture pushes in our direction. But our feels like temperatures are still into the 100s. It feels like 109 at the lakefront, 109 at the airport in Kenner, 103 feels like in Slidell, and 106 in Hammond. So it is extremely hot and humid early this evening. We continue this weather impact alert because there is an extreme heat warning in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. Just a short while ago, many of us felt like up to 114 to 115 degrees, so it has been extremely hot today. But there is some relief on the way as that tropical moisture continues to push in our direction. We will see temperatures much more tolerable tomorrow. Speaking of the moisture, we're starting to see some storms move in our direction in South Mississippi. Some stronger storms moving through Biloxi and Gulfport, headed towards Bay St. Louis. So we'll continue to watch these storms as they push towards further into South Mississippi, eventually into southeastern Louisiana going into the rest of tonight. So some stronger storms here in South Mississippi from Wiggins to Saussure down to Gulfport, but Bay St. Louis about to see some stronger storms in the next several minutes. Closer to the North Shore, really not much happening on the North Shore now, and on the South Shore, one or two spotty storms happening. One shower in between Thibodaux and Raceland, and one thunderstorm along the coast in Grand Isle. But plan for some more wet weather going into the next couple of days, which will bring us the relief from the heat. So it's still going to be really hot and humid early this evening. Temperatures will probably stay in the upper 70s and low 80s going into tomorrow morning, and we could see some passing showers and storms overnight. Feels like temperatures will continue in the 90s and triple digits for the next couple of hours, and it'll probably still feel like the upper 80s and low 90s going into tomorrow morning. So the tropical moisture is attached to this potential tropical development in the northern Gulf. Going into the next 2 days, I should say, the next 2 days, there's only a 10% chance of tropical development, which is very low. So we are watching the tropics, but really not too concerned that anything will develop in the northern Gulf going into the rest of the week because there's some dry air. There's a lot of wind shear. It's really the wind shear that's the main thing that's going to keep this thing in check. But either way, we're going to see some more tropical moisture come in through today and especially tomorrow and Friday. The tropical moisture will continue, and that will bring us some passing rain and storms. So we're starting to see that first push go into South Mississippi now as that weak low pressure treks across the northern Gulf through tomorrow and Friday. So here's that big mess of moisture that moves in through tomorrow and Friday. It'll continue to push into southeastern Texas, so Texas will see some rain as well going into later this week. And that's all around that high pressure. The high pressure has been the heat dome. That'll shift to the north. That will allow that low chance of tropical development the next couple of days. That will allow for the moisture to push in. And then the high pressure doesn't really go far because once the moisture moves in and we're done with the storms going into this weekend, it builds back. So by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week, we're already talking about extreme heat and mostly dry weather. So it's kind of like deja vu weather, much like last week, the same this week, and probably the same next week as well. But we'll time it out for you going into the rest of tonight. Here are some scattered storms continuing to push in our direction around 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have some passing showers and storms, and then overnight, not a whole lot going on, but then we get into tomorrow morning, some scattered storms will push through the area into the afternoon and early evening. We could see some heavier downpours with the rich tropical moisture pushing in our direction. So we'll have some scattered downpours through tomorrow, some more scattered downpours going into Friday, but it's going to be periodic off and on with dry breaks in between. But some thunderstorms could bring us some stronger wind gusts and some frequent lightning in addition to some heavier downpours Thursday and Friday. And we'll probably still see some scattered storms going into Saturday. Thursday and Friday, we have a low risk of street flooding, just a level 1 out of 4. But we'll watch for some localized downpours that may lead to some isolated street flooding in the coming days. Rainfall totals look like anywhere from maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain. So we could see, some heavier downpours that could add up in a few spots, but it's not going to be a problem for everybody. So we'll have to watch for some heavier showers, but it's going to be a localized thing, and it will be a little bit breezy the next few days. Going into the weekend, we dry up for Sunday and heat up, temperatures back in the upper 90s going into early next week.